Hi, Dr. J. Sordean here. I want to talk just very briefly about one of the really wonderful things about bank code and the bank code subscription at any of the levels, whether it's the core, the pro, or the platinum. At each of these different levels, you get to have a weekly new snippet and interaction online with Sherry Tree, who talks about a particular aspect of one of the four personality types. This time in December, because in the US and many places around the world, there are holidays that are occurring. And so she talks a little bit about the holiday that she grew up with related to Christmas and the tradition she had in her family. Now, the woman she's married to, Esther, is from Holland. And so there is this misunderstanding about what the tradition that Sherry was used to. And so all of a sudden, Esther was trying to do something really nice for Sherry, and yet she didn't do it in the same tradition. And so Sherry felt a little upset. It's like, wow, this feels a little weird because it's not my tradition. So let's just give you a snippet of what some of these power calls are like, because this is included in your subscription. It's one of the things that I find I benefit from by just having these little focuses on one aspect of a person's bank code that we all carry in some fashion. We all have traditions. We all have certain things that we like. And if they get disrupted, then we feel uncomfortable, and it can create a little tension in a relationship or in a family. So this is one of the great benefits of subscribing. It's an additional bonus that you get as part of the subscription. After you've watched it, if you seem interested, once again, you can call me 510-849-1176 to subscribe to one of the three levels, or you can go online to 4-cards.com, and there are some links that will help you figure out which one you're interested in. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of the year.
And one of those traditions is, I don't know how many generations back this goes, but at least a couple generations, is an Advent calendar counting down towards Christmas, and they're little knitted stockings. So there's one for every single day, and there's 24 of them from December 1st to December 24th. And the tradition in my family is that on November 30th, the night before December 1st, we would put out these stockings, and they would be empty, and they're all tied together to a string, 24 of them, and we'd hang them across the wall or across the chimney. And on that evening, while we were sleeping, Santa's elves would come. Santa's elves would come and fill up our little 24 stockings filled with candy. Every single day, there was enough candy for each kid in my family to get one new candy. So there are 6 kids in my family, and there'd be 6 candies. They were always the same candy per day, but each day changed the different types of candy. So you might have Hershey's Kisses in it, or little red striped candy canes, or Rolos, or Snickers, or you get the point, right? And every day it was so exciting. We looked forward to going and jumping and seeing what the new candy was that was in that stocking. And of course, that was our countdown to Christmas. And when we were little, you know, we would count how many stockings were left to see how many days there were till Christmas. So what's the point of all of this? That tradition has been passed down, and now each of my siblings still carries on that tradition. And so just recently, coming into the first week of December, there was a whole bunch of pictures going back and forth in our family string showing the little stockings that were getting hung, and of course the little elves that were filling them up, and the kids. And I was feeling sad because Esther found my stockings and she hung them up, but she doesn't really know my tradition. And so she hung them from the lights in the home, like up on the ceiling. You know, there's some spotlights, and she hung them. And of course, not all 24 of them were there, so I don't know where the other ones were. And the elves never came because, of course, you know, we are the elves, and we didn't fill them up. And so I felt the sadness of, like, looking at my empty stockings, and there's only 12 of them instead of 24. And, like, I felt sad because the tradition didn't get met. right? And I need to show Esther how this tradition works, and it's really my responsibility because it came from my family. So blueprints, even though blueprint is my last code, when it comes to tradition, the people who value tradition are going to put a really strong value to that. And tradition simply means whether it makes sense or not, whether you like it or not, they just do it. And they do it because it's tradition. So in the business context, you know, if you're trying to sell to your customer and they are in a tradition pattern of doing business a certain way, or with a certain person, or with a certain product type, or with a certain company, or a certain brand, they are very loyal to that tradition. And it's very hard to get them to change. Now, one of the top things that blueprints detest is change, because change equals risk. And to change the tradition, like if Esther came to my family and said, Sherry, instead of hanging the 24 little stockings, I think that we should just light 24 candles. Let's light a candle each day. And I would push back against that, and I'd say, I don't want to light 24 candles. I want to hang up my 24 little stockings because that's the way I grew up. That's how attached a blueprint is to tradition. So how do you get them to move away from that? Now, the number one thing that I found is first you want to respect that tradition. But if you're trying to get the customer to switch, what you have to do is you have to show that there's more risk associated with staying where they're at with their current tradition than to change. So you have to establish the fact that there's more risk in keeping that tradition than there is to change. So as you do that, that's where it becomes really important that you understand what your offering is, your product, your service, your opportunity, etc. How do you get them to take their foot off that base and move to the next base with you? So minimizing the risk to move, to change, to start something new, a new tradition. You see, what Esther might do is approach me and say, Sherry, you know, I love that tradition, and what if we started a new one by ourselves as a family that has never been done before? Let's make a new tradition together. And I might say, okay, well, that's kind of a cool idea. What do you have in mind? Well, I think that we should get a candle and light it every single day. And let's express the gratitude that we have each day. Let's express a new piece of gratitude. And let's do that for 24 days in a row.
I hope you enjoyed that little snippet, that power call about tradition, because it is so appropriate at this time of the year. If you're interested in subscribing, once again, please contact me at 510-849-1176, and you can go to 4-cards.com, where I have extensive information regarding the different levels of subscription, as well as how to call about having me come as a live trainer, as a licensed certified trainer with B.A.N.K. code. Thanks so much.